So this video is going to be on modern dating, how it's basically turned into a competition between men and women on who cares the least or pretends to care the least about the other person. It'll be about why women hate nice guys, covert narcissism, and I'll also mention Taylor Swift's relevance in all of this. Before I continue, I'd also like to plug a recent video I made on wokeism. It's available on my channel. It's a full half-an-hour video on how the wokest movement is basically a narcissistic social family construct. So please check that out, as I spent a lot of time on it. So narcissistic women are attracted to men who don't care about them. That's where all of this stems from. Because they seek validation, but they don't actually want validation once they have it, as they are told by the front-bottom advocates that enjoying a man's validation makes them weak. They assume men who are validating them are just manipulating them, as that's what they're doing to men when they pretend to like them, and project that mentality onto the men. In fact, many narcissistic women don't even have hobbies, and that's because seeking validation from men and manipulating men is their only hobby. Their goal is not a happy relationship, because that would mean they are making a man happy, and that goes against the front-bottom advocacy narrative. You know, that's illegal in their world. So narcissistic women actually take pride in being dysfunctional and being as abusive as they can be towards men. And even pop stars promoted by the Illuminati, like Taylor Swift, promote this culture to a degree. In her song Antihero, Taylor Swift's lyrics read, "It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me," alluding to her intentional relationship dysfunctions with the dozens of men that she's dated and capitalizes on when she makes breakup songs about them. So in this song, Taylor Swift also alludes that she might actually also be a self-aware covert narcissist with her lyrics, "Did you hear my covert narcissism I disguise as altruism?" So basically, this kind of stuff is being subconsciously programmed into women through the mainstream culture that they consume mindlessly. And, you know, they're so susceptible to just idolizing whoever's popular, whoever's pushed in the mainstream to be popular. So this is essentially surmising the nice girl dating strategy, where they mask their sadistic tendencies with a veneer of empathy. So narcissistic women want to get the approval of men, or seek the approval, I should say, not actually get it. They want to seek the approval of men by putting on a fake, empathetic, and altruistic persona. But then when they receive that validation for their false ego from the men that they date, they use that ego boost to try to gain more power in the relationship until it becomes completely dysfunctional, because women aren't attracted to men that they have power over, and a man's going to get fed up with constant power struggles like that. They may also use that ego boost to try their luck with another guy who might be an inch taller and $1 richer than the guy that they're dating. And they'll do this when they're still in the relationship with the primary target, because narcissists can never be by themselves, because when they have to be by themselves and self-reflect, it's basically like hell on earth for them. So once narcissistic women receive validation from the men they're trying to manipulate, they no longer actually value it, unless they actually benefit in some superficial way through money, accommodation, or by making them look good by association, or increasing their popularity. So they want the benefits of the simp, or, you know, the chad. So, however, these things will only prolong the discard. And that discard is already set in stone for narcissistic women who believe in front-bottom advocacy propaganda. Because if you don't give a narcissistic woman a good reason to hate you, she'll likely start just making stories up in her head. So a lot of the time, they feel more comfortable if you are rude and abusive, so that they can maintain in their minds and also in the outside world their facade of being the nice girl, without doing mental somersaults and creating delusions in their heads to maintain their fake persona, which obviously uses more energy and more effort. So This is why narcissistic women punish good behaviors in men, such as loyalty and attentiveness, because you are threatening their false ego. Their false ego is that they're always the kindest person in the room, and they'll often justify this in their minds by projecting their own manipulation strategies onto you. If you do care about a modern narcissistic woman, they'll take that validation as a signal that they can do better. You know, because you like their false persona, they must be better than you because they manage to deceive and, in their minds, outsmart you. So they'll energetically feed off of you and the men that they manipulate and enjoy watching them suffer, knowing the corrupt, front-bottom centric legal system will protect them from retaliation or any form of consequence, even if married. Sometimes women also act in ways that they find attractive in men. So if they find a certain behavior in men attractive, they'll try and copy that behavior, thinking men will also find it attractive. And because a lot of narcissistic women like men who cheat, because they consider it high value behavior, and because women like to have what other women want, because jealousy is driving them more than love and building a healthy relationship, they assume cheating themselves also makes them high value, even though it's the exact opposite for women, and always has been, and it always will be. The best way to get disrespected and abused by these types of women is to treat them well. And I'm not even talking about being a simp here. You know, that's another thing. I'm not talking about being a simp and sending them good morning, beautiful text messages every day. I mean basic respect that women always complain that they don't receive from men. However, cheating on women like this will often make them maintain their false empath ego identity for longer, as you're making it easier for them to be the victim. You know, they'll probably even become obsessed with you if you cheat on them, and just really thrive off of that drama. So it'll make it easier for them to play the good girl, and you're not breaking their worldview by upholding the so-called toxic masculine behaviors that they've been indoctrinated to believe that all men have. So basically, if you're not acting in accordance with how the front-bottom supremacist movement says all men behave in, then they might actually have to admit that they are wrong about these beliefs that they've probably carried for most of their lives and reevaluate themselves. But they don't want to do that because it's to do with their ego complex. A lot of men recognize this behavior, this dynamic, and as a result, they just pretend not to care about the women that they date as the women play these manipulation strategies, all the while dying on the inside just to try and maintain attraction and repress their true selves. Now, these types of men that do this and play along with that attitude and promote other guys to do that to a degree, these types of men I would categorize as basically pseudo-alpha chads. They're men who are rejecting their own emotions and identity for the sake of maintaining the female validation that they try so hard to give the illusion that they don't care about. Or in other cases, it can also be when men are skeeting down below their standards and dating women with significantly lower sexual marketplace value than themselves, to the point where they just genuinely don't care because they could find another woman of that caliber quite easily and wouldn't have dated them long term anyway. So women project this dynamic back onto men, thinking men find the same things attractive as they do. But men genuinely want a woman that cares, you know. Men want a woman that cares about them, even though that a lot of the narcissistic women find that disgusting in men. Men generally want that from a woman. But so women will be pretending that they don't care about the guy, while the guy is pretending that they don't care about the girl. And it's like, okay. So modern dating is becoming a battle of who cares the least or pretends to care the least about the other person, As both men and women play into this pattern, this is also partially promoted by the mainstream media programming, as I mentioned before, in songs and pop culture and things like that. Many men are recognizing this. Not that many, but the channels that I watch. Many men are recognizing this and opting out, as they have to constantly date down to avoid being abused and hurt. And a lot of the time when they do date down, it also further provokes women's insecurities and makes the problem even worse, because the woman knows something's up and they can't believe a man so far out of their league would be loyal, and then they start making up stories in their head like he must be cheating, etc. So modern day relationships with women who punish modern day relationships with women who punish expressions of emotions or vulnerability or authenticity is basically just prostitution, without the benefit of the 304 leaving, as they often think it's okay to act as community DNA receptacles. Besides covert narcissism, there are other reasons why women hate men who care about them, or men who have good qualities, which they call nice guys. And this is because women generally aren't smarter than men. Women generally aren't stronger than men. The only thing women feel they bring into relationships a lot of the time is kindness and being nice. So if a man is like stronger, smarter, and kinder, it absolutely destroys their ego. So when you're kind or nice, they consider it an attack on their identity. It hurts their ego. And they simply don't like it. And because they feel attacked, they'll just start attacking you. Women see nice guys the same way that a man sees an educated woman. You might not hate the fact that she's educated, but you would probably prefer to date an attractive woman with a low IQ than an average woman who is a doctor, you know? Because you won't be getting any of the money that she earns anyway. And also she'll be looking at other men's penises and body parts at work, which is kind of gross. So you would also compare the way women see kind men in the same way that we view female bodybuilders. It's like, why are you trying to be like a man? That's how we see it. And, you know, I think that's probably a bit of a crude example because, yeah, it's a lot more of a sexually dimorphic quality to be strong than to be kind. But anyways, women see men who treat them the ways that they say they want to be treated, with loyalty, care, passion, and honesty, as men trying to be like women, as they're being people pleasers, which is a feminine trait. So I'm not saying it's only a feminine trait, but it's how women see it. You know, I'm not saying it is definitely a feminine trait, but that's how women see it. So, and I'm also not saying this because I want this to be true, but because of this dynamic, women now seek validation from men who are complete simps, who shower them with compliments, throw money at them, usually online, and don't set any boundaries. Because they get that validation from the simps. They don't need it from like the guys that they date. You know, even though they do date simps a lot of the time. But they also seek validation from good-looking men who don't care about them or pretend not to care. While a huge percentage of men who are kind of in the middle within their looks value and are balanced individuals, they're not like simps and they actually care about the women that they date. These men are the ones that get overlooked because their material benefits are outcompeted by the simps who are probably like, you know, around the same value as the women in looks, or a bit lower, or even a bit higher in some cases, but they shower them with money and all of that. And it's also outcompeted by the emotional roller coasters from Chad. You know, the Chad roller coasters are much faster when they are chasing validation from a man that's well outside their league, rather than getting validation from a man that's in their league or just a little bit outside their league. You know, it'd be like you being able to go and date a supermodel, even though the supermodel is gonna not take you seriously, you'd probably still do it. And women have that opportunity in today's society where they're just able to date so far out of their league in looks and in a lot of other ways, but mostly looks. So as this dynamic continues and Western economies suffer, as men are demotivated from being ambitious, the economy will begin to suffer. And when the economy begins to suffer, society breaks down, and it could pose a threat to the power structures. So I believe this could all lead to a war, and will create more contrived wars so that obedient NPC men will go get killed in manufactured wars, as that's how this problem has been solved for a very long time. When there are too many men per capita for each female, the social systems that we set up tend to fail. However, I encourage all men to refuse to fight when that time comes, as this time I think that the feminists should be the ones forced to go to war, as they're the ones who have all the authority in this society, and I think they should be the ones responsible to protect it. We'll see how that works. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want, you can donate me some privacy coins in the video description below. Dero and Pirate Chain are both very undervalued cryptocurrencies. You can also sign up to Unstoppable Domains to get a .crypto domain, and if you use the affiliate link, you'll be giving me some credit. And for a lot of my other videos, I use AI from Caber AI. There's also an affiliate link in that if you want to sign up and give me some bonus credits as well. Cheers.